A few weeks ago, I bought this, a beautiful 2015 Volkswagen Golf R for only $8,100. Now that $8,100 quickly turned into $9,400 with auction fees, so yeah, definitely check fees before you buy. Anyway, I was still happy because in the pictures, this car looked great. I could see the engine did run and it was listed as having mechanical damage. After seeing the passenger side wheels and tires were damaged, I thought I had this figured out. It just slid into a curb, probably bent the wheels and a couple of control arms, and that was it, no big deal. Yeah, I was wrong. The car was in Boston, so I had a local Tesla mechanic pick the Golf up for me, and what he found was pretty shocking to say the least.
Oh boy.
The oil pan was completely smashed to bits because Volkswagen uses plastic for the lower oil pan. Rich was able to confirm that the engine cranked, so I sent out a new steel pan, flew out with my nephew with one-way tickets, confident we could get it running and drive it 1,000 miles back home to Chicago. And I was wrong again. After verifying the bottom end wasn't hurt from running with no engine oil, and after replacing the pan and the level sensor, the Golf R would not start. But yeah, it's definitely not starting. Even with the help of 2 Volkswagen techs, we just could not get this thing to go until I flew back to Chicago and Joe from Top Gear Auto got the car running by switching up the spark plug wires. This indicated a timing issue, and so now I'm back at Top Gear Auto in Gloucester, Massachusetts. Well, because Joe called me and he took it apart, and what we found was not the best, but I think with a ton of hard work, we can get this thing to run. And again, I bought a one-way plane ticket, so fingers crossed that I can drive this thing back to Chicago, but just wait till you see what happened. All right, guys, let's get into this. Let's see if we can get this Golf R running again with the damage that Joe found by removing the valve cover. So what we have is an intake cam, that's good, and we have an exhaust cam, that is not good. And this is partially because of the design from Volkswagen where they press on the lobes. It's pretty wild. This is pressed on as well. And as you can see here, there is a lot of scoring. And on this engine, the valve cover is not your traditional valve cover. It actually has the journals for the cam. So right here, right here, right here, that's where the cam rides. These tolerances have to be absolutely perfect. And you can see we have wear here that lines up with wear here. So take a guess what happened. And you're right, or wrong. I don't know what you just guessed. But basically, because this oil pan was smashed out, it lost all of its oil. And because Volkswagen doesn't have any safeties that won't allow the engine to start with no oil pressure, this thing was ran at the auction. So the guys at the auction lot didn't know, I'm sure, that the oil pan was smashed. They started it up for the pictures as they are instructed to do. They ran it with no oil, and the top end is basically the first part of the engine to suffer with no oil. So this exhaust camshaft got stuck in the head, so it froze right here. And what happened is this spun. So this is pressed on and bolted on, but you cannot service it. You can't fix anything on this cam. Now, because Joe was able to remove the valve cover gasket to diagnose this car for me, I was able to get parts shipped out. So this is a Volkswagen camshaft. It comes with the adjuster. It's brand new, and we can see the issue here. So these are both lined up at top dead center, perfectly the same. But if you look back here, the pickup on our old one for the cam sensor is way off, and that is because this spun. And so the reason why our engine didn't run is because the timing was way off. It was physically off, even though the timing chain and everything on the front end looked totally fine. So Joe was able to move around the spark plug wires, and he changed the firing order enough to make it run. So we know the engine sounds decent. We just need to fix this. The big question mark is, can I polish this out and fix the actual damage on the cylinder head back here? So we got Joe over here working on a wonderful Audi product. I'm gonna be working over here, and yeah, I got a couple days to go at this. We're obviously gonna be replacing all of the timing components as well, which all of this is loosened up already. So we can start by lowering our chain, and we're gonna remove the intake cam. We'll stick it in the box that they use to ship the exhaust cam for safekeeping for now. Don't worry, you'll come back. You'll be intaking soon. Now, first things first, we have to clean up the top of the cylinder head. So I'm protecting everything. And because this isn't a normal valve cover with just a rubber seal, this would be kind of more closely related to like a head gasket surface in respect that it's very delicate, and if you make any nicks, it could cause a leak. Now, we're gonna be using a special sealant, and we're setting basically the tolerances for the cam journals. So this is definitely not a situation where you just get out your little buzzer wheel on your drill and go nuts. We have to be ultra careful, and this stuff is very hard. See that? Just kind of snaps off. All right, after about 15 minutes with the razor blade, we're left with this. So I got all of the heavy, hard sealant off, and now we have to attack this. A little bit of brake clean. So just clean this surface up real nice. And by hand, we're gonna use our little toothbrush here and get this stuff right off, make this super shiny. Oh yeah, this is more like it, perfect. It's definitely gonna take our time with this. We don't want any leaks. And again, because it's not a normal valve cover, it's not like you just slap an easy valve cover gasket on and call it a day if it does leak. You gotta do a lot of work. I'm all done cleaning, so we went from this all the way to this in about 1 hour. Well worth the time to get this surface so nice and shiny and clean. And you wanna make sure to get in these little grooves as well. Now, something I wanna do because of, you know, what we know here that this engine was ran with no oil is I'm just gonna pop up the lifters and the rockers. They kind of come as one assembly. I'm just gonna inspect them. Right off the bat though, I think everything looks to be in excellent condition. I think this engine essentially saved itself by freezing up on the exhaust cam and just shutting down completely. Had it continued to run, who knows what else would have dried up and frozen and destroyed itself. But after taking the bearings out in the last video, we know the bottom end is good. I am pretty confident we can fix this. But then again, it is a German car, so who knows what else it needs after driving it 1,000 miles to Chicago. We're gonna find out. So I'm gonna clean, lubricate, and inspect all of the lifters and rockers, and we're gonna soak them in a little bit of oil. And I just emptied out my coffee from the hotel I stayed at last night. Same place I stayed at last time, Best Western. Good job, Best Western, for keeping the room clean. Although I definitely inspected it with the legit Streetcars Ultra Pen Light. So I'm just going around taking these out one by one. Don't mix these up because, well, at least on the intake cam, they've kind of worn into the cam lobes. So you just want to keep them in their same spot. But these are looking beautiful. This is just giving me peace of mind that this engine's in good shape, but that looks really nice. And we'll give it a little bit of a bath here and just go right back together. Since this engine's been sitting around for a while, this way on first start, everything is properly lubricated. And it just slides in like that. All right, all the lifters and rockers are well oiled and cleaned. Everything was perfect. I gotta say, I really love these factory wheels. They're a little dirty though. You know I love my release. I let this sit for like a minute, let it dwell, and then it just wipes clean. It's perfect. It's one of the best wheel cleaners I've ever used. But it's not just for wheels. This is an all-service cleaner made in Wisconsin, and it'll clean up grease, oil, mold, heel marks, scum, virtually on any surface, aluminum, paint, glass, rubber. Look at our wheel now, beautiful. I've been using release on the interiors of my car for quite some time. It doesn't smell, it just simply cleans, and it cleans well, and it's gentle. So if your interior needs some love, give it some release. And when I say this is all surface, I mean it is all surface. I mean, whether you're cleaning seats, transmission, black trim, look at that. Maybe a disgusting battery from your off-road ML. It just works. I could go on forever with uses for release, but glass is another good one. It'll leave your glass streak-free. You can use this to clean up your wheels as well, and you don't have to worry about it damaging the finish. And we use this at the house all the time. So I've cleaned up my disgusting grill on my deck. Ketchup that got all over a white cabinet is just gone. And something else I love with the release is you can get this in different containers and concentrations. So you can buy the pre-mixed 32-ounce spray bottle. Amazing. It'll do most every single job. But the most affordable way to do this is to buy the 1 gallon concentrate. You can get it in this container as well. So if you do buy it in the 1 gallon concentrate, you can make about 80 of these 32-ounce bottles for only about $1 each. That is the best deal in the business of all surface cleaners. This one's made in the US, guys. So if you guys want to get release and save 10%, use coupon code LEGIT. Click the link down below, and I'll drop their Amazon links down below as well, so you can get this stuff right away. It's amazing. You'll love it. Up next is probably the most consequential cleaning I've ever done. By cleaning, I mean polishing by hand. Honestly, this is normally a machining process, but we're gonna do it with my hands. These are the machines. My hands aren't that precision, so we're taping this off. Basically, I don't want to damage any of the area that's good. So, you know, about 75% of this journal is perfectly fine. It's just at the edge there that got a little mangled up, just a little. But what's great is that this area of the journal where the oil squirts out and this ledge that keeps the oil in is perfectly fine. I mean, we are a few millimeters away from this being completely destroyed. It could have been just a couple more minutes of this thing running at the auction, could have done it in. I got lucky. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use a little bit of sandpaper with some oil. I'm gonna put the sandpaper in to kind of follow the path of the journal here. We might have to swap out the tape every once in a while if I get through it, but I'm just gonna go very, very slow and try and polish this out. Yeah, it's gonna take a while. All right, after a few minutes, it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. We're making a difference. It's looking shinier. I'm done polishing this out, so this is what it looked like before, and here's what it looks like after, so nice and cleaned up. And what's great is we knew that this spun and ran already as it was when it was all mangled up. This just temporarily locked up when this ran dry of oil and heated up. And then also we got kind of lucky that the exhaust cam is what runs the mechanical fuel pump. So you can see the drive right in there gets driven by this slot right here. So basically this guy temporarily froze with enough just to kill the engine, but then as everything cooled down and contracted, because with heat everything expands, it freed up and was able to spin in all of the cranking that we did when we were trying to get it started. And then when Joe eventually got it running, we saw, this was still spinning in there. Just trying to make myself feel better here, guys, but I do think this is gonna be perfectly fine. All right, with our cylinder head, freshly machined from the machine shop, it's time to move on to this. And yes, if you brought this to the Volkswagen dealership, they would say you need a brand new cylinder head for probably $4,000 or $5,000, but we have fixed it instead. And it's gonna work. It's totally gonna work. Oh man. So we've got this thing bolted down nicely in the lathe, and now you're gonna see a robotic arm come out to precisely machine this surface. That's the noise it makes as it measures tolerances within 50 thousandths of an inch. And yeah, looks like the machine's doing a pretty good job. It's cleaning it up. We got this off the ground onto a nice stainless rolling cart, and this is looking pretty good, This is gonna be a lot harder to clean up than the cylinder because there is a groove for the RTV to hide in, but it's something we can handle with a little bit of a pick. Oh man, this stuff is hard. Jeez. Okay, there we go. We're seeing a little bit of shininess in here. We have to be careful also not to mar this up. She's a very delicate little Volkswagen. I mean, look at it. It's just so cute. I'm just kidding. I hear these things scream, especially with a tune and a few mods. And we have the dual clutch with launch control. Getting ahead of myself though. We got a lot of work. And we still have all of this madness here to take care of. After about another 30 minutes of cleaning, we went from this all the way to this. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. We got all of the sealant out of this little groove, and there's definitely no such thing as a quick valve cover reseal on one of these. I'm gonna move on to cleaning up the engine, and then we gotta get into timing. So let's remove our main timing chain. We're gonna be replacing this and some guides. And here's some of the old guides that Joe removed, and they're actually in really good condition. My Golf has about 80,000 miles on it, and they're looking nice. All right, so we got everything laid out on a table, and something to note is that this timing chain did not stretch at all, so this is our new one on top, old one on bottom, so that's good. And these are a couple of the other guides that look to be in good shape, but we are replacing all of that stuff while we're in there. Also, the front cover, you gotta get a new one of these because these get bent when you remove them, and you don't wanna risk a leak. Now, I ended up ordering everything from ecstuning.com. I'll drop a link down below. These guys are awesome. They really helped me out a lot with tech support as well. Because I was flying out to Boston, I needed to have every single part ready, and they knew exactly what I needed. I'm like, this is what I'm doing generally, and they sent me every little bit and piece, all the bolts. These are all new. Joe looked over everything, and they didn't miss anything, so definitely check them out. Great company. And Joe, what are you guys seeing as far as timing chain and guide failures on this particular engine?
If you're lucky, you get 100,000 and maybe just over that before they start to stretch and cause issues.
So it's pretty much a maintenance thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about the rest of this engine? Is it pretty stout outside of the timing stuff?
If the maintenance has been done, it's usually pretty good, but usually they start burning oil and stuff, so you have to use the good oil.
Yeah.
And don't do the recommended 10,000 mile intervals.
It's ridiculous, right?
5,000 tops.
Yeah, that's exactly what I tell everybody, especially with these European cars. A lot of the cylinders are coated in Alusil or Nikasil and all their fancy coatings that they use. You guys saw in my Porsche Cayenne series what happens with that. So change your oil often on these German cars. I just don't understand why they make the interval so far out with 10,000 miles. These people are used to spending money. They're expensive cars, and an oil change is cheap. Look at how the cam lobes move on the cam. So that's part of the variable valve timing. That's actually what these solenoids do right here, is they move out, and there's little guides on the lobes that twist, and that's what changes the cam lobe. It's VTEC, but Volkswagen style. First step in reassembly is going to be installing the camshafts, and I want to get a little bit of engine assembly lube right here where the cam journals will rest. I had some engine oil on here, but this is why I like engine assembly lube, because the oil kind of just strips away, and this stuff is goopy. It sticks around. Probably put some on the rockers too. I'm a big fan of protecting things on that first start, and we'll definitely get some over here too. Next, I'm gonna install the intake camshaft, and it's got a little dot there, and it's gonna face up, and we'll lay this down like that. So next we have the exhaust camshaft, our new one, and that's actually gonna be installed on the valve cover, if you will. So we'll lubricate this. And this only has the variable camshaft on the exhaust. The intake cam is totally fixed, and we have to line them up right here with their solenoids. So we're gonna drop it in, And there's kind of a little song and dance here. So this little dot here has to line up with this arrow like that. Oh, there we go. All right, so we got this all snapped in here. You just have to move the cam lobes around until it lays down flat. And you can see we have our dot lined up. Included in the ECS tuning kit was this from Volkswagen. This is their sealant. I think they just pretty much describe it in the name, sealant, strong. So this is very, very thin. It's not like traditional RTV, and we really don't need all that much. And don't get anywhere near the journals either. Goes on green like this. Pretty cool. And we're getting there with the green goo. So we just want to make sure to go around the middle portion as well. Don't forget that. And we're filling these cavities a little bit on the outside. Stuff actually looks really cool. It reminds me of St. Patrick's Day, which wasn't too long ago. And we're in Boston. It's big here. It's big in Chicago. I think we got the two biggest cities for celebration. And it's funny, I live in a super Irish neighborhood and they're like, you guys go hard here. Like, that's not exactly how we do it in Ireland, but yeah, Chicago goes a little nuts. We dye our river green. It looks just like this. All right, it is time. It's time. We're gonna install the cam and the cover at the same time. It's a little nerve-wracking because you don't want this to fall out. Yeah, it would stink. Always keep a hand on the cam. All right, we're going down. Don't wanna mess up the green goo. And we're going down pretty good. Woo! All right.
Nice.
Sweet. We're going back together, guys. This is so crazy. Lots of new bolts. These are torque to yield, so you don't want to reuse the old ones. They've already stretched enough. They've done their job. Leave them alone. Retire those bolts. Yeah, we got a ton of these. You got to be really careful with these too because you can snap them, so definitely torque this. You guys know I torque a lot of stuff, but especially engine components. You don't want to mess around. Who else is as excited as I am right now about getting this thing running? Like, it's been a couple months since I've been out here. I would have loved to come sooner, but I had my cousin in from Italy. Joe was on vacation. And life, you know about life? Like, this car is like mint. Like, the interior is fantastic. It's mostly wrapped in PPF. The owner of this car, I found out some information on him. He was born in the 50s and he was one owner. So like, he really kept this up. It was maintained at the dealer. Like, this is a nice car. It hit something and smashed the oil pan. That's all. It happens. Oh, and you know what? I got like a skid plate for this thing from ECS Tuning that they make just for this issue because everybody smashes the oil pans on these VWs. That's later. We gotta get this engine running. Here's the sequence we have to follow for tightening. I'm just gonna snug these up, but yeah, we're no torque whatsoever. And we're gonna see some of this green goo come out. Before we go ahead and tighten everything, we want to make sure the cams are perfectly lined up. They do move a little bit, so we're going to get our cam locking tools in here, and they just thread right into the block like this. So here's what the tools look like once they thread in. You can move this back and forth, so when we get into place, we're going to push this in between the teeth. Right now, we got to go a little counterclockwise. You can see the mark there. So what we're doing is threading in one of the oil control valves, and this is what the oil control valve looks like. It's kind of like the cam bolt, but it also controls the oiling, and we are replacing these. So this is an old one. They require a special tool, and this is reverse thread as well. So lefty, tighty, righty, loosey. So right now Joe is turning the cam, and we're trying to line this mark up right there. Now I'm gonna move our locking tool in like that, and then when we let go, this side is timed, and we already have the crank at top dead center as well. And so before Joe started disassembly, he had this notch on the crank lined up with this little arrow right there. All right, so after going around about 5 passes of just hand snugging, we are finally at the point of torquing. So this is gonna be 70 inch-pounds or about 8 Newton meters. So not a lot, 30 bolts. So it's gonna take a little while. And then after this, we have to do a 90 and that's it. This thing will be torqued on. So we're just doing, that's one row. Then it wants me to do this row. This torque wrench isn't very loud with the click, so I'll do it for you so you know. Click, click. So once you have your initial torque, I like to draw a line, like a straight line, just on every bolt like that. That way when we go around and do our 90 angle, you don't forget, because these should all now face to the right. Should start off like this and then go like this. When you're doing that to 30 bolts, you don't want to second guess yourself. Don't get distracted either. But if you do this line, you'll know for sure when you're done. Not only does the line help you know which one you've done, but it also just helps you visualize your 90. And there we go. So if you don't have that mark, you have to be like really kind of perfect with this. You know, do the old one eye squint, make sure this is perfectly straight. And then 90 is, you know, like that. You guys know about 90s, right? If you just have the line, you don't really have to do that. You can just kind of go much quicker with this. Look, watch, I'm not even gonna worry about where that is because we can see it turning. That's 90. The business is called the old 90 line eyeball trick. I don't know, I made that up. And we're just turning the bolt like that when it's facing to the right. There's your 90, you're done. All right, once you're done, go ahead and look over every single bolt head, make sure it's horizontal now, and you're all set. So we are done. That is torqued. The cams are set. The crank is in the right position. We can move on with more timing goodness. Next, we're gonna line up the high pressure fuel pump. So I just unbolted these two. There's an O-ring in here. That'll pull the follower. It just looks like a lifter. Otherwise, it's really hard to line those up. So it's easier just to pull this pump apart like that. And there's our follower. We can kind of push it up, and then we can actually just pull this follower right out with a good magnet. We have a new gasket in there. Now it'll make it a lot easier to put this guy in there. Oh, perfect. All right, now we can start these long bolts like that. Tighten up the 3 bolts there. There is a notch on this follower. You can see where it goes up top, so make sure you do that right. Go right in like that. Retrieve your magnet. We'll go back together now with the actual pump. There we go. And there's a line at the bottom, so you want to kind of finagle this in there at the same time. It's pretty tricky to do this with hard lines, so kind of have to bend it a little. There we go. There we are. Get the nut started. Bolts in. All right, this is tight. Now we'll tighten up the line. Don't want to forget that. Pump's done. Next up is going to be the timing chain. So we see 3 notches. These are for the cams. This is for the crank. You guys already know where we're lining these up top. And you can see towards the bottom on the left, there is a little Dorito, a little triangle right there. That's where you line up the bottom. All right, new chain going in. We're going to feed it on down like that. And we'll just start up top. So this guy's going to line up with that little dot. And this one right there. All right, take your time with this. Make sure you got it right. You can see our dot there, lined up and lined up. And then on the bottom, I'm going to slide this on through. And you can see here on the bottom, our link is lined up right with the triangle. Next up, we have our guides. So Joe's going to slide in this larger one. And we're just kind of holding the chain there while we slide it in. Just like that, one guide down. ECS hooked us up with some new bolts for the guides as well. It's always a good idea. So there's 2 on this side, and there's gonna be 1 larger one when we get that guide in. This guide will kind of move up and down, but you'll know when this bolt goes in. Got the bolts started, so we're tightening these up by hand, and then we'll snug them up with our ratchet. Perfect. Our other guide's gotta kind of pop through like this. I'm gonna slide it up, yeah, right there, all the way. And then it's got 1 big bolt right here. Now we're gonna snap in our top guide, just like that. Here's our new tensioner. It comes with a clip. Don't pull this until it's installed. And so that goes right in here. I got the bolts started in there. We'll go electric here, make things quicker. There we go. Before we pull the grenade pin, just double check all of your timing is good. That's good. That's good. And that's good. And then we can pull this guy like that. And now we're locked in. We're good. We can pull out our tools now too.
Pump chain going on. There's no marks on that, so no worries of which way it goes.
And if you guys are wondering, the pump chain and there's a balance shaft chain, we're not changing those. There are no issues at all. Joe's been doing this for 20 years on these VW Audis, and they don't stretch. They don't ever have any issues at all, so he has never seen them fail. This is similar to my CL65, the twin turbo V12 you guys saw me rebuild. I actually didn't replace the timing chain on that because from experience and and speaking with techs of 20, 30 years, they leave those alone. So some chains are actually better when they're original. So the cheap chains that they're making now would have been worse than the old school bulletproof V12 Mercedes chain. I bought a new one to measure it against the old one. It was identical. Mercedes diesels are like this as well, where the timing chain just never stretches like at all. Get some RTV going on the new front cover, just like Nardo Gray. All right, she's ready to go on. Spent a long time cleaning everything, so it's perfect. This engine's getting a nice little reseal. There we go. All right, it's bolt time. I got all the bolts started. Zip them in now. We got air power. Oh yeah. This is looking nice, guys. When was the last time you guys used air tools? I remember when there were no electric tools. With the panel snugged up, we have the bridge that needs to go on. No gasket. This is just metal on metal crime here. This just needs a little shimmy sham sometimes, like that. There we go. You want to make sure this gets pushed in all the way, and then we have a few longer bolts to get in there. Now we can go back together with our oil control valve. So we do have a new one for the exhaust cam, and we're reusing the one for the intake cam because they changed the design slightly. And we'll tighten these guys back up. So next we have the top cover. It's made of plastic, and we got a new seal. And we have new camshaft solenoids as well. They're not bad, but a good while you're in there. I want my Golf to be reliable. I mean, just look at this thing. Look at this interior. I found seat covers in the trunk, so these were covered probably its entire life. It's perfect. And this final cover is going on. It's actually where you fill the oil up too, just like that. Cover's tight. We got our engine mount bracket going right in. Starting the big bolts. We got our dipstick tube in, and now we can slide in our new camshaft adjusters like that and like that. This thing fits in everywhere. This AC line's been a pain in the butt, but not with this tool.
See a big notch here?
Oh yeah.
It only goes one way, but you can't really see it, so you have to make sure you line it up and wiggle it so like
kind of
you
a
can
feel
see
thing.
Flat, yeah.
Yeah.
And try to line up the notches too.
That's Volkswagen's way of keywaying the crank pulley. It's kind of funny if you guys have seen a lot of my other videos on American cars, LSs, a lot of other engines. They have just like a normal keyway cut into the crank, and this they do it in, I'm just gonna call it a unique way. I don't know. We got the upper engine mount going in, and the date code on this is original, and the mount's in good shape. That's my little trick on knowing if a car has been beat on. If you look at the date code on engine mounts, transmission mounts, especially the hydraulic filled ones, if they're original, the car's like 10 years old, 80,000 miles, you know it hasn't been beaten on, because these things will rip apart otherwise. My friends at APR sent me out new coils and plugs. Look at that. And these are colder spark plugs as well, because if this thing runs, you know we're gonna modify it. So before we put that stuff back together, let's swap out our plugs. And this thing kind of needed plugs anyway. All right, going back in with our APR colder spark plugs. I'll tighten these up. Just like that. Before the coils go on, we have our oil separator, like that. Installed a new gasket for this too, so we are all sealed up here, people. We don't have any MB sunroof grease here, so this will have to do a little dielectric grease. Where they meet the spark plug comes pre-lubricated, but I always like to lubricate this area too, so it makes it easier to pop back out. This is a very tight seal, especially with these nice APR coils. And then we can just go ahead, pop them on down like that. All right, now we can plop the harness back on, so these coils clip in right here, but they also have a ground for the bolts. And we got everything else to line up to like that. Oh yeah. Nice. We got our low pressure feed hose going on like that. Satisfying Volkswagen click. Oh, nice. It's love or hate with this, but we clip these all in. They're all connected. There we go. We got our intake tube on like that. Battery going in. Hopefully this thing's good. I did fly with a jump pack just in case. My last one got confiscated when I came out here because it was too big, even though I'd flown with it like 5 other times, but this time they didn't check. Just bolted up the washer tank on the bottom. We can slide the top one in. Air box is done. I'm about to fill it with oil. You know what, actually, we're not gonna add any oil just yet because our green sealant is still goopy. So what stinks is that we are 100% done with everything, except we can't start it until tomorrow. So, man, I'm like a kid on Christmas here. I gotta go back to the hotel and just wait. You know, I'm not sleeping at all because I'm excited. I wanna see this thing run. And then if it does and everything goes well, we gotta drive it, make sure the transmission shifts. It doesn't look like anything got bent in the suspension, but we gotta make sure that's all good. And then it's 1,000 miles. I'm just gonna hit the road and just never stop. Well, except for gas and to pee. It's the next morning. I could barely sleep at the hotel because all we have to do is pour oil in this thing and turn the key or press the button. Joe's putting some oil in it. What do you think? You ready?
Yeah.
See what happens. I only got 1,028 miles to drive this home. Like, hopefully right now. That'd be great. All right, guys, here we go, here we go. Uh-oh. Ah, it's gotta tease you. Let's try this again. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, it runs! It runs! I don't hear it knocking yet. Oh man, we got a ton of lights on, that's okay. So these have a steering angle sensor, a lot of German cars do. Hopefully some of these will go away. Not yet. Oh, there we go. Yeah, we got rid of most of them. Okay, tire pressure light, we don't care, we haven't reset that. And we have a check engine light, that's fine, whatever. Oh man, it runs great, guys. Super smooth. And this is so crazy. This guy filled the tank for me, then got into some sort of accident that smashed out the oil pan and the 2 passenger side wheels. Then someone ran this thing without any engine oil, the cam locked up, and now it is running on a beautiful day here in Boston. I mean, it's perfect, guys. Listen to this. Yeah. That is exactly what the engine should sound like. We don't have any ticking, we don't have any noises, we got nothing but a good running 4-cylinder Volkswagen and some really cool green goo that's gonna turn black eventually. Oh man, it's looking awesome. HID headlights. Supposedly this has adaptive cruise control, so I guess we'll find out. But look at this, no smoke out of the tailpipe, nothing. Sounds great. No misfires, no misfires. Yes, we did it, redemption. The Golf R lives. Now you guys saw me in the last video put the steel oil pan on. Well, ECS Tuning has this, the Street Shield designed specifically for this car. Look at how thick this is. Because this is such an issue with people smashing out their oil pans, especially when they're lower. This is still stock ride height, but they created this to protect you. I mean, it is a skid plate that'll hold up to like literally anything. So big fan of that. Joe's gonna go check out the codes right now. I'm all loaded up, my backpack, bunch of extra parts. Got washer fluid going in. It's full service over here at Top Gear Auto. Oh yeah, she's smooth, guys. Look at that. Look at that turbo. This thing's a monster, almost 300 horsepower, turbo 4-cylinder. And like I said, I have mods to make this faster, but we gotta make it home first. If this thing makes it home, we are going to reward it with more horsepower, because that's exactly what it wants. All right, we're gonna go for a little test drive right now. Both of these rims were damaged probably from hitting a curb, so hopefully it doesn't pull. I did new tires when I was out here and they haven't lost air, so that's good. All right, we got no lights. Joe cleared out the check engine light. That was just lost communication with stuff we had unplugged, no big deal. Here we go, first drive. Is it gonna move? Oh, it's moving. It's moving. Oh my gosh. It's a long time coming, people. I've owned this car, I think, for like 4 months now. It's the first time we're driving it. And look at that. Let's race right now. This is what's coming in next. Literally the same color Golf R, but with a manual transmission, 122,000 on the stock clutch. So Joe's gonna do a clutch on it today. We got Joey.
What's up, guys?
It runs.
Nice job, man.
Yeah, dude.
job.
It's alive.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think you could do it.
You know, Joey had no faith. Thanks,
Well,
Joey.
you never
Appreciate
give
it.
up.
That's right, I don't give up. That is true. All right, here we go. It's very hilly around here. It's beautiful, just beautiful. We're in Gloucester, by the way, so we're not actually in Boston. You know, we're outside of Boston, but we are in Gloucester, and I definitely want to come back, bring the whole family. Okay, we're going down this hill, and it's straight. The rotors are definitely clearing up. Yeah, yeah, they're a little crunchy, little rusty. Let's see. Oh man, she is strong. Look at those shifts. Wow, how's the alignment? Oh, it's great. The alignment is fine. Like, what? It had to have gone into a curb. I mean, one rim was just completely destroyed, but I think that actually saved the suspension because the spokes on the wheel totally broke off, and that probably took the brunt of the force. Oh, dude, are you kidding me? Wow, quarter throttle in this thing, like, it feels great. Like, it's very torquey for a little four-banger. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I've never had a Volkswagen. I honestly don't even know if I've ever been in a Golf. Is that weird? I don't think I've ever been in a Golf. I don't know. It's not my fault. I was in F-bodies, like Camaros and Firebirds. Oh, this trans is mint. So I know there's a manual option, and I love manuals. So I was kind of disappointed that it didn't have a manual, but then I heard that these transmissions are just amazing and it has launch control, and the shifts are so fast. Like, this is, I mean, just around town right now, what I've just done, it's way faster than the shifting on my Nissan GTR. Uh-oh, we got a light. Okay, it was a tire pressure light, but it wasn't like a sensor like is bad. It was like check loss of air pressure. Oh man, this thing is quick. I cannot wait to tune this thing, and we have an intake APR hooked it up. We have like a carbon fiber intake. It's awesome. This thing is running good, guys. I mean, it's 16 hours back to Chicago. I'm gonna drive it all in one shot myself, so I'm kind of looking forward to it right now, I'm not gonna lie. Especially with the way this thing takes turns. This is awesome. Golf guys, why didn't you tell me? This is cool. Am I gonna get attached to this one now too? Gosh, I have way too many cars. It's ridiculous. Like, I do not need another car, but I just fall in love, guys. I fall in love, especially with the cheap ones, because, well, you know, what am I gonna get for this if I sell it? It's not like anything life-changing, you know? Like, if it brings me joy, I just wanna keep it, you know? Woo! Oh, this runs good. I should not be beating on this. Oh, you guys gotta see these shifts though. Oh, it's spinning all four. Woo! There was a little bit of gravel, but man, it was spinning all four. This is crazy. Okay, hopefully the smell that I'm smelling right now is just brakes. I'm gonna stop beating on this until I get back to Chicago. She's running good. Let's go change the oil. I mean, this is where I'm driving, guys. You need an all-wheel drive rally car for this. Look at this. There's a dog over there. And then, whoop, we're back. We're back. Joey, you had no faith, but it works.
I was just getting the hooks ready to come pull you.
Oh, thanks, man.
I heard you go and then it stopped. I just like, it went away. I'm like, uh-oh.
No.
I know that sound. I'm too familiar.
It's all good, Joe. It's all good. We're gonna go change the oil. So this is why our tire pressure light came on. This tire was at 20 PSI, but it's been like 2 months. I put it at 40 2 months ago when we got the new tires, but yeah, it's got a chunk. So apparently that's leaking a little bit. Should be good for a day or two of driving though. Here's the other Golf R, and they have an APR intake too, and mine is carbon fiber, although I have like a carbon fiber box. I can't wait to do that. 122,000 miles. Man, this thing looks sweet. That's pretty neat though, manual trans. Let's drain this oil out. There we are. A little flush, and yeah, this is all I had as far as butt connectors and stuff at Rich's garage when I made this wiring repair, but this will be all fixed up. And if you guys remember, we still have this, the transmission, and technically this is the upper oil pan. It's pretty banged up, but it functions well. So you'd literally have to replace the transmission and the upper oil pan to fix this, or you could get a used transmission and disassemble everything, like if you found a core one, and replace the case. But that's a ton of work. This thing has almost 90,000 miles on it, so I don't think this will ever affect anything, especially once we get the skid plate in underneath there. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm gonna do about that right now. Nothing, honestly. I'm just gonna try and drive home. We'll worry about that later. Now we got a new oil filter. Get this screwed in. Fresh oil going in. Drink up, Golf. All right, she's getting her beauty cover and we're hitting the road, guys. She's running, ready to go. Joe, Top Gear Auto, thank you so much. I owe this guy big time. He diagnosed the car for me, helped me out a lot. These guys are swamped all the time because they are really good at what they do. I'll drop their information down below, but there's kind of like a waiting list to get in here. But if you want really good work, the best on Volkswagen, Audi, German stuff, Joe's the man. Before we hit the road, I'm swinging by the Rich Rebuilds garage, although he's not here. We missed each other. Schedules did not align, but I've only been here for like 2 days and I've just been working the whole time. Oh, that's funny. Joey's working on something really interesting over here. Elon's on the couch. Hi guys, we are officially on the road and I have 15 and a half hours. I think I'm just gonna do this straight, guys. You know, it's just 15 and a half is a weird one because you could easily drive 10 hours, 12 hours, it's no problem. And then you're right there. What am I gonna get a hotel, for a few hours? So I usually just book it straight through. Honestly, I've done way longer than this, just straight through. I'm very motivated to get back to my shop and my kids. But man, I wish my nephew was here. He flew out with me last time and this was supposed to be our adventure together driving back, and he's in school now. He was on spring break then. Anyway, we're getting on the highway. This thing is a handling machine. And Blake, this one's for you. We're gonna make it. I mean, you're safe and sound at home. I hope I make it. All right, I verified that the air conditioning does work. The Bluetooth does work. I got some Weezer going on here. Might as well just listen to like all 12 albums. The blue, the green, the whatever other album names they had. Cruise control works. I need to figure out how to reset the tire pressure light. Does it have adaptive cruise control though? I don't know about that. No, we're gonna definitely hit that car. It's weird, on the Carfax it said that they replaced the adaptive cruise control. Like that's all it said. So yeah, I don't know about that. Oh man, that is a lot of driving. But she is straight as an arrow and super tight. I mean, it feels like a brand new car. The one owner who was born in like 1955, this was just maintained. It's just a nice car before whatever happened. But anyway, I'll see you guys probably in a few 100 miles, maybe. Knock on steering wheel, hopefully it doesn't break. Check it out, a Golf R. It's my brother. What's up, Golf R? It's a Golf R thing, people, you wouldn't understand. Well, unless you got a Golf R, then you would. About 300 miles in, everything's going good, getting some fuel. This hasn't leaked any air out. All right, we're done here. And check this out. There's 94 octane at this Sunoco. I don't know if I've ever actually seen that. I've heard about it, and I used to go to a Sunoco in Chicago or outside of Chicago that had like 100 octane, but 94? And it's like the same price. Such a good deal. We'll get one more octane. Gas gauge works. Absolutely no lights on. I reset the tire pressure monitoring system. And it's a beautiful place to be, guys. This thing is running great. I'm going to knock on the Volkswagen now because I said that. 380 miles in, and we got a C7 next to us and a C8. Let me know, what's your favorite generation of modern Corvette? So I'm just going to say between the C5, C6, C7, C8. I go C7. C7, Z06, or the ZR1, a lot of money, but for a more realistic car, C7, Z06, you can get them for like 55 grand, something like that, 60 grand. Phenomenal car. I think they look amazing. They are the last Corvettes to be front engine. You could get a manual transmission. They are pushrod engines. They are supercharged engines. A lot of lasts for the C7. Hey, we got another Golf. Look at that. Pretty sweet. What's up, Golf guy? I don't know if I'm just noticing all the Golfs now that I have one, but there it is. We're Golf brothers. We're almost at 500 miles. Golf is doing great so far. I just want to check the oil. Oh, there she is. All right. Just cleaned off the dipstick. Let's see what we got. Oh, we're golden. I looked underneath. No leaks, no nothing. Tires are doing good. No lights. Everything's perfect. Kind of hungry, but I don't really want anything from there. I hate stopping. Like, I just want to keep going. Actually, you know what? I don't know why it's taking me so long to do this. This has got to go. There we go. We're getting almost 28 miles per gallon. Probably averaging like 75 miles an hour. I don't know. It's a 4-cylinder, small car. It's just okay. I get on the highway. Oh my gosh, seriously? It's flashing traction control. I don't know, man. For all-wheel drive, this thing like seems to break the tires loose like a lot. It's weird. I made it to Pennsylvania and a GTI. What's up? Very similar engine. I think same generation. Supposedly you can tune the GTI to be basically just as fast as the Golf R. I guess it's got the same, similar, you know, platform engine and everything like that. The rest of the car kind of looks the same. But the R is like the top dog. It's like the ZR1 Corvette, but a Golf. I just hit a big storm. This really stinks. I'm glad I put new tires on this thing when I was out last. It's like literally clearing up now. I think it's literally clearing up. Look at that. We got like a hole in the clouds. I want to be where that hole is. That was like a 2-minute storm out of nowhere. It is completely gone. That was crazy, but I just got a free car wash. Don't pay attention to the clock or the date. I didn't set that. But yeah, 857 miles, 89,000 miles. Kind of tired, guys. Not gonna lie, it's been 14 hours of driving so far. Found another Sunoco. It's been Sunoco this whole time. We don't really have those by me. The old Division Street exit right there. I lived on Division Street for about 10 years when I lived in the city and worked for Mercedes-Benz of Chicago. They were on the same street. So my condo was like just a few blocks away from my job. It was pretty awesome. Well, except for the fact that I had no garage. That was not awesome. But now I'm a family man. I got a house with a garage, lift. But anyway, guys, I am shot. I cannot wait to crawl into my bed. I've been in a hotel for 2 nights and, you know, driving 16 hours, I'm tired. But hey, we're almost at 1,000 miles today. No lights on at all. This thing is just rock solid. All right, I made it 1,007 miles. Don't forget your cell phone. Thank you. That'll do it for me tonight. I will see you guys bright and early in the morning. And it's bright and early the next morning. It's a beautiful day. I got a solid 6 hours of sleep and I'm ready to go. And hopefully the Golf is ready to go too, because we're gonna test 0 to 60 and then modify it and retest. Let's do a little cold start. Okay. Yeah, not that loud. Yeah, not that loud, but it's good. It's good. No smoke, no nothing. It's perfect. I'm okay with that. All right, guys, 0 to 60 stock is 4.5 seconds, which is pretty good. So we're gonna shift this down, turns it into sport mode. And then we have these modes here, and then we can toggle. We'll go to race, of course. Let's see if race start is just hold brake and gas. I don't know. Nah, I don't know. All right. There we go, that's 60. What do we get? 7 seconds. I must have done something wrong here. Then we have to hold this off until it gives us that message. Now we can just hold the brake, floor it. Yeah. Oh, wow, this is definitely front wheel drive bias for sure. Pretty quick though. Nice, but man, we lost a ton of traction there. Oh man, what was that? Couldn't have been 4.5, right? No, that was 6.5. Yeah, we're just spinning like crazy. Wow. But yeah, the normal Golf is front wheel drive, so even though this is all wheel drive, there's a difference. There's a difference when the base of the car is rear wheel drive and then it becomes all wheel drive. That means most of the bias is gonna be in the back. This is mostly in the front, which is bad for traction because when the front lifts up at launch, you know, those are your drive wheels for the most part. So we gotta practice. Let's try this again. Oh yeah, no, this is bad, dude. It just burns out like crazy. Wow, I'm very surprised it's that bad. Like, where's the all-wheel drive at? Yeah, 6.3, and it's supposed to do 4.5. What? All right, so there's definitely got to be an issue here. I just scanned it for codes. We're getting an all-wheel drive mechanical malfunction. I'm thinking this thing is in straight up front-wheel drive mode. There is a reset on the pump here for this system that sends the power to the front and the back. So normally it is 100% front-wheel drive when you're just cruising around, and then when it detects that you need rear-wheel drive, it can shift like half of it to the rear. So I don't think we're getting that. I'm gonna try resetting adaptations. I don't know what this means, acoustic measure. Let's try basic settings. Pump motor. Okay, so pump motor not active. Pump motor start. Let's see if we can get this thing to be active. Okay, and let's check live data. Clutch temperature, lots of good information here. Here we go. Halidex clutch pump PWM signal. Oh, okay. It's gotta be sending something back there. I could hear the pump right now, actually. We weren't hearing that before. Oh, yeah, it's doing its thing. It's like cycling. Okay. It's good. This is really cool. It'll tell you the degree of blockage. So we got nothing. And then let's just reset the adaptations. Start. Let's erase these codes. All right, cool. No codes. Let's go rip it and see if it's fixed. At the dealership, this would be a really cool complaint because you'd be getting paid to go test launch control. All right, let's try this again. Woo! Oh, much better. Oh, that's all it was. Yes. Woo, we fixed it. Just resetting adaptations, people. That was kind of like my Nissan GTR when I bought it at the auction for like 10 grand less than it should have gone for because it had a bad transmission. We literally reset the adaptations. So these cars that sit around at auction lots with dead batteries and stuff, sometimes that's pretty much all it is. 0 to 60, 5.1. Not bad, not bad. It is pretty hot out, so it's supposed to be 4.5. Let's try it again. I am going to let it build a little bit more boost. Feels great, guys. Brakes are awesome too. This car's just great all around. 5.1 again, super consistent. We're hot lapping it now. But anyway, we fixed it. You know, 0 to 60 sometimes, depending on the weather, the magazines that test these, like the conditions are perfect and everything. That's pretty good, 5.1 stock. All right, we're back at Legit Street Quarters and APR sent out their tune for this. So in the box, you get one of these guys that plugs into your OBD2 and we can pick which octane, 93. I went with the high torque configure and ECU program is in process. There we go, here we go. It's tune time. While this thing's tuning, can we just take a moment to appreciate how nice this interior is? I mean, look at these bolsters. The seats, amazing. And that's because the previous owner had seat covers on them probably its entire life. These tunes can take a few minutes and you always want to use a battery charger. But in the meantime, let's swap this out for this. Look at this sweet carbon fiber intake from APR. This is a really easy install. All right, we're just gonna undo this clamp here. Pop this off. One vacuum line here. I believe this just pulls right up. That's it. All right, here's our stock box. Oh, this is just like a little filter. Oh, it doesn't go anywhere. All right, cheerio. And now, if I'm not mistaken, we just slide this guy in like that. Is this the easiest like induction system install ever? I think it might be. Hang on, I'm gonna lubricate these mounting points with some MB sunroof grease. Slide in there, not much nicer. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it just pushes right on. Pop on our air intake tube and we're almost done. That was officially the easiest intake install ever. This guy is on, looks beautiful. The tune is done. Let's fire it up. Oh, no way. It did none of that before. When I was revving it up, you couldn't hear anything. This thing is gonna sound so cool. Oh, this is awesome, guys. This is such a cool tuner car. It's just so easy. All right, that's a little crazy. I think they got rid of the rev limiter. It is so free revving. This is sweet. Guys, look at the increase. 67 to 92 more horsepower and 87 to 109 more foot-pounds of torque. I believe the range has to do with what kind of fuel you're using. We're using 93, so it'll probably be on the lower end, but just with a few minute tune, we gained like, let's just say 70 horsepower plus the intake. Let's go test. Oh, that was half throttle. Hey, another Volkswagen guy, yeah! I keep on running into Volkswagen people, that's crazy. Oh, that's the intake, oh my gosh. You hear that? It's like, whoa. It's like we did blow-off valves at the same time, like everything opened up. We can hear it all now. Gosh, this thing was so suppressed. I'm gonna try these little paddle shifter thingies. Oh, yes! Oh, this shifts so good. Oh my gosh. I love this car. I love it. This was such an impulse, like random buy. I never really thought about getting a Golf, but I saw, you know, they got an R version. It's the best of the best. I gotta try it. And now I gotta try out 0 to 60. I'm gonna go ahead and make excuses right now because it is like 100% humidity, but here we go. Oh, it's much faster. This tune is amazing. Are you kidding me? Whoa! We did, oh my gosh, 4.26 verified. That is unreal, guys. We could definitely get into the threes if it was just like 20 degrees cooler with no humidity. This would definitely get into the threes. 4.2, we dropped a full second to 60. This is the same day. It's like a half hour later. It's over 90 degrees right now. That's why we're only hitting 4.2. That's amazing. All right, I gotta try this again. Oh! Oh my God. Woo! 4.3, hot lap. It's such a go-kart. Oh my God. This thing is such a toy. Yes. Woo! What do we get? Yeah. 4.3. All right, whatever. It's hot. All right, hang on. You guys got to hear this on the highway. It is just insane with this intake now. God, with the paddle shifters, it's so quick. It rips. I love the paddle shifters. This is like a video game. This really reminds me of my Nissan GTR, but I think I like the transmission better. Oh, we got a tunnel. Oh, you can hear that blow off so good. I love this. You hit the paddle, it's just instant. Look at this. Woo! Oh, handle's great. God, it's pretty safe to say I'm in love. All right, guys, that will do it for the Golf R. This is definitely redemption from the last time that I flew out to Boston and totally failed at driving this thing home. Not only were we able to fix it properly and make it run beautifully, but it drove all the way here, over 1,000 miles. It's faster, it sounds amazing, I love it, and I don't know what I have planned for this thing next. I am definitely getting the Golf R bug for some more mods, but I don't know, it's just so perfect as is. You guys are just gonna have to wait to find out. And if you want quicker updates on all of the cars, follow me at Legit Street Cars on Instagram, Facebook, and on Legit Street Cars 2, my second YouTube channel where I do kind of shorter content. But anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed the Golf R series thus far. If you haven't already, hit that like button, it really helps me out. Share the video, subscribe if for some crazy reason you haven't already. It's a free little button. But most importantly, have a fantastic day. I'll see each and every one of you in the next video. In the respect that you have to be ultra delicate, in the respect that this is really delicate, in respect that it's very delicate. Hey, another Italian. I'm frozen. I'm just kidding. I hear these things scream, and we have the dual clutch transmission. I believe it's got. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I hear these things scream, and we still have all of this to go. And we still have all of this madness here to take care of. Our first step for reassembly is to get the cams in here. So I'm gonna use a little bit of assembly lube. That is not working. You know what? It did. Both of these rims were total. Especially once we get our splash shield. especially once we get the skid plate.